As you guys know, Aaron Shoenke, director of Legend of the White Dragon, has an issue with Soul of the Dragon, and more specifically, him not receiving credit. And as we pulled out, as we showcased that Jason David Frank didn't want him to get credit, you know, people are asking him questions. Now, this is in regard to Legend of the White Dragon being on Netflix, and someone said they said no. And he says, really? They said no. Are you affiliated with this production or distribution agent? Like I said, like if you can't prove it, he's just gonna, blow you off. Oh, wait, you heard it on a clickbait website that has to use anonymous sources and fake emails to stay relevant. Now, the story we're talking about are the emails, because when Jason found out that Aaron was going behind his back, he reached out to the people at Boom or Saban Brands and be like, look, for Soul of the Dragon or whatever, right? Hit this fool off. And they was like, look, Jason, we got your back. Don't worry. We're going to draft up an email. This is the email we're going to draft up and send them, as long as we get your approval. Okay. And this is what happened. Now, Aaron don't know, but he actually went on Francis' channel and actually showed the email. Now, if you look back, the email that I got was dated May 17th when they had the discussion with Jason about removing Aaron because he kept going behind the back. Now, when you look at his email, and you're going to see it came out May 18th. So it tracks where it looks like Bryce that he messaged for Boom, and some guy named Philip. And it's word for word the same email that they drafted up. Now, what I saw was an actual email chain. There was no fake emails. It was literally forwarded. Here's the email chain. Shout out to the Power Ranger Illuminati. Now, for context, here go Aaron doing it. Now, we all know that Jason, from this text message conversation, he was extremely happy about the Soul of the Dragon with this Old Man Logan story, right? And he even texts people saying, hey, people really already love it. The Old Man Logan story, finally I get. Aaron is going to be mad because he's not getting credit. And he cut him out. Now, with Aaron logic, all right, let's go to Aaron logic or whatever, right here. It's not that we came up with this Green Ranger series. It's that we put the idea in their head to do an older Tommy, to do a Dark Knight story featuring Tommy. They said they give us credit and went back on their word. It's the principle. Kyle, Boom, Brian just keep showing what kind of people they are. Now, right here, he's 100% trying to manipulate Jason because this trying to do a Dark Knight story, this is lifted from a Kyle Higgins interview, which I'm going to cover at a later time. All right. So he's basically texting Jason, hey, they did this. And he said, hey, if I send you the story about our Green Ranger story, can you post it on your social? Since they say the book is different so the fans can see it all. But we're not going to focus on him trying to manipulate Tommy using the Dark Knight story featuring Tommy that was lifted from a Kyle Higgins interview. So let's go back to where he talks about Soul of the Dragon.
And that all fell apart, and Jason was frustrated with that. And I was like, let's go back to let's just pitching the comic book again. So then we ended up speaking to Bryce over at Boom, and we were like, hey, let's make Legend of the Emerald Dragon a thing. And they were like, we like this old man Tommy thing, which is what Jason always said. And we started developing it over there.
Now developing using very loosely. The thing about it is Aaron would go and pitch these ideas to, you see, Bryce right here, to Bryce and Brian, but he never had a script. It's just like, saying with the Amy or Joe Johnson, they copied our idea with Tommy and Kimberly having a son or daughter.
And then they brought on Kyle to write the story, and then we were going to get credited and all that kind of stuff because it was our story. And then the day of, they reached out to me and Jason, said, hey, we're going.
They reached out to him. Jason already knew what was coming.
The press, and we're going to announce the book tomorrow, but we have legally changed the story just enough to where we don't have to credit you guys. And then we're dropping it tomorrow. And me and
that
Jason,
was Soul of the Dragon, correct?
And that was Soul of the Dragon, yes. Which is why Jason, whenever he would sign that book, he would always sign Bat in the Sun on it, which I always thought was very funny.
This is Cappity Cap Cap Cap. As we know, he signed one for a fan. Ain't no goddamn Bat in the Sun there. All right, now let's go to where he validates the email for being real, despite him previously saying, fake emails. Fake emails to stay relevant. When let's see him prove this email is real in 4K, because what happened is he sent it to Francis to put on our stream.
As long as, and I posted this somewhere.
No, we had to talk about Deoxy because one, Deoxy found this, and Deoxy is really the whole reason all this stuff is coming out.
As long as your goal is for communication, understanding of a situation, and not taking certain facts and building a toxic, hateful environment, which is why I reached out to him. I was like, hey, if you have any questions you want to ask me, and I'm a big fan of just talk to me. I'll explain everything, and everything's cool. And then,
bro, he is not a big fan of talk to me. You ask him about Kevin Porter or some other people he's worked with that will never work with him again, he will block you.
And when you ignore and then repost and retweet other things, I was like, well, it seems like your goal is not for understanding and information. It's to build a, like a negative rapport. And I was like, well, I don't like that. Like, why would you do that? But that would be my I was like, oh, just talk to me. I saw someone like that. Like, he was complaining online. He's like, look at what he's doing. And someone's like, why didn't you just respond to him and talk to him? And I was like, yeah, why didn't you just do that?
Well, one, he doesn't owe you a response. And two, you did threaten a lawyer if he didn't interview. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's how, a lot of people, I don't think understand that's how that works. And
that's 100% not how it works, man. I've covered like millionaire stories, like multi-millionaire on my main channel. Never have I once been threatened with a lawyer if I didn't interview him. Shit, they act like I don't exist. Even though some of them I've talked to behind the scenes. Even Aaron, he could easily come on the channel, but he won't.
In the industry,
Fair.
So that's the advice I get from the lawyer. Because basically, if someone is
bro, ain't no lawyer over this YouTube shit, dog.
Calling you a liar or whatever.
He's trying to little bro. He tried to little bro Deoxy, and that shit backfired in his face.
It's best to say, hey, my lawyer is going to reach out. Now, someone put out the word sue or whatever, which I didn't say that. But what happens? A lawyer will reach out and be like, hey, it's basically like a mediator to make sure that things don't escalate. Although people, I think, young fans don't know that's kind of how it works in the industry.
Okay, so do you feel like Deoxy lied about you?
His headline is "Bat in the Sun lied?" ? And then if you read all the comments, everyone just is agreeing with him that I'm like garbage.
So, well, you are fucking garbage, Aaron. You got me fucking saying it right here. You are fucking garbage. Is that a yes or a no? Like, do you think Deoxy lied about you?
I think.
Hey, you see how he was laughing, like with that little pie? Hey, did he lie about you? Yes or no, dog?
Lied? ? And then if you read all the comments, everyone just is agreeing with him that I'm like garbage.
So, is that a yes or a no? Like, do you think Deoxy lied about you?
I think he used information to betray things that were incorrect.
Is that yes or no? I'm like, all right, let's go to another question. He fucking hates yes or no questions. What did he say was false? Because you posted specifically that, and I could read the post or I could share the post. You said there are a lot of talkers and haters online. This guy posted a video full of false info and edited my interview, so a lot of details were missing. So what was false in his video and what details from your interview were missing? It's kind of like a two-part question.
So, so that's, I'd have to go back and watch it again. I watched it, and
bro, if somebody fucking lie on you, you know exactly what the fucking lie is. You don't have to go watch anything. You don't have to go see anything. You're like, oh no, this is the part they're like, this is everything they cut out. So when he says this and he made such a big stink about it on his Facebook, on Twitter, pretty much everywhere. When he came up here and he didn't know, and then we had to watch the whole movie just for him to apologize to Deoxy. You're like, bro, you're full of shit.
I'm very busy, and this stuff, I know it's like a big deal.
This is where he downplays the fans.
You guys, I know it seems like a really, really big deal. You guys like think about it all the time. I don't. So he said like a lot of stuff he said about Boom and Hasbro and Amy and stuff that I posted, like that stuff was just all like a lot of information was missing, and like he took out a lot of the story. So I have to read the comments again. I try to respond to them because I live in the moment.
See, here's the fucking thing, right? You should have to watch the video again, not read the comments again. Aaron is a lazy person to the point where he won't watch a 10-minute video. He'll spend 20 minutes reading the comment section.
Because I'm busy doing stuff. That's why I respond really quick, because I'm like, I'm present. And
so you didn't watch the video. So did you watch his video? Okay, so you watched his video, but you don't know off the top of your head what was false or what was missing from your original that he manipulated.
If you ask me the questions, like I said, it had to do with stuff about Amy. It had to do stuff about like Jason not like, oh, he was credited, but I'm like, but he wasn't really credited.
Okay, so
that kind of stuff.
Let's start with that.
All right, questions, go through the whole video and ask me.
You stated that JDF was not credited for Soul of the Dragon in your interview. That was a correct statement. However, Deoxy unearthed proof that Jason was credited. So would that make your original statement a lie?
No. So
it would make it false for sure.
What I was saying in the original is that Jason was not created as being a co-creator of the project. And for those people in the industry, what?
You didn't. No. If you're saying if now you're trying to switch your original interview to, hey, he wasn't credited as a co-creator. That's different from saying he was not credited at all, because now you're misleading fans to think that, hey, they just stole this idea from Jason. And then without Deoxy putting out this video, I don't think we'll have this interview where you're saying, oh, he wasn't credited as a co-creator. You see how I got him when he smiled? I just knew he was cooked. Misleading fans to think that, hey, you see the smile? He's like, oh, you clever guy, Henry. He just stole this idea from Jason. And then without Deoxy putting out this video, I don't think we'll have this interview where you're saying, oh, he wasn't credited as a co-creator.
So I probably left that out, and that was my mistake. And I should have said that he cooked her. But when I was talking about it, because the whole topic was about...
How do you say I probably left that out? No, motherfucker, you did leave that out. That was not present.
How... Don't roll your eyes, Henry.
I'm just saying, you said he's a liar, and I'm like, well, he didn't lie in his video. His video's true.
Here's how you're misportraying.
Now, Frances ends up saving him, right? Like this because this is her platform. Me, I keep him in a hot box. I keep him on the ropes. I keep him going. Frances saves him with the email that we're about to bring out, and KOU says, "I can explain. I can explain everything. It's inexplicable, constantly battling each other through his interrogation. His is a story with every second page missing, unlike his pitches, which have no pages to them." This is true. And everyone would say this. Look, man, he pitches things with no script. So you can't accuse someone of stealing your ideas if you pitch things with no script. Well, he was like, well, no, I put the idea in her head. Well, if that's the case, then it's safe to say he took the Boba Fett versus Star-Lord idea from the fan who sent it out to him. You see how it works, Aaron? You know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right?
When me and Francis had the conversation, we were talking about how Boom stole ideas that we created, and I go, Jason wasn't credited. So what happens is if you just go, Jason wasn't credited, you're like, well, he got credit. And I was like, but if you take that first part out where I was talking about how we created it.
Like we're supposed to like interpret him as meaning creative credit.
And he wasn't credited for it. I go, then it looks like I'm lying. But I wasn't lying. You just took part of what I was saying out. And that's the point I'm saying.
I'm frustrated because I'm pissed that
on there. I said that
pulling his BS.
We created a bunch of this stuff and Jason wasn't credited for it. He was credited as a consultant, which also, just to put into reference real quick, in the industry, when people are labeled as a consultant, that's like you being written off as if you haven't really done anything.
See, she saved him pulling up this goddamn email. I was so pissed off that she pulled up the email because I wanted to keep this shit going. And she probably was like, man, it's getting fucking tense. Aaron is getting cooked. Let me throw up this Hail Mary
thing.
But yeah, as we fans, we're taking this at face value. If you say he wasn't credited and you don't come back to say, hey, he wasn't credited as a co-creator, then we're right. And we're weaponized against Boom Comics to think, hey, they just stole this shit from a lot of people's favorite hero. A lot of people. And that's what Aaron wants. Aaron wants people to hate Boom Comics because he hates Boom Comics. He hates Kyle Higgins. That's my personal opinion. And the reason being is he will never, as long as as air is in his lungs, he will never be acknowledged by them. Acknowledge me. That will never happen. You licensed the Green Ranger suit to Hasbro and they changed the story. Well, you shouldn't have went behind Jason David Frank's back trying to speak on his behalf so many goddamn times to where he found out and removed your ass from getting credit. And they were throwing you a bone with the credit. Now it'll never happen, and you're going to take that shit with you to your grave. You're going to be telling your goddamn kids that they stole the Soul of the Dragon idea from you, all because, not because you gave them a fucking script or anything like that. No. It's because you put the idea to do an older Tommy, which anyone with a half functioning brain could say older Tommy. Similar to the return with Tommy and Kimberly having a daughter who becomes the Green Ranger. This is your MO, but let's continue to let you validate the emails that you said fake emails. So which email is fake, Aaron? I just want to know which one. Is it this one? I actually know the people talking, and you do too, where they're talking about, hey, we hear Jason David Frank's concern. You're an important part of the book. We wanted to get you involved. We don't want anything to jeopardize your relationship with Aaron or anyone else. With that in mind, we've massaged and tightened the message to Aaron from blank, removing any mention of you except to let him know we'll reach out to you separately. Is this fake? You're saying this is fake? This is fake? Okay. But attached to that from an email chain that I saw with my own two eyes, forwarded to me, where this was coming from, who it was going to. This is the draft. And now you're about to hear Francis read it word for word. Go ahead, Francis. Do your thing. Do your thing, girl. Do your thing.
So
favorite Ranger.
Right. But okay. So here, Francis brought up an email.
Look, bam. He just deflects. Go to the email.
No, I think, right?
Yeah. So what happened was we were talking, right? We were talking, flowing. Well, I personally knew.
I told her about this shit after the stream. I'm like, hey, don't be speaking for that man.
What Aaron was talking about, because I knew that Jason had more.
You're drinking like, thank you, Francis. Thank you.
In effect, more of just a consultant in Soul of the Dragon. But we didn't go in.
I'm pissed. You see me fucking eye rolling like I don't give two shits what Francis saying at that moment.
We're just talking. We're trying to get through all the points. But I understood that, right? But I understand where Henry's coming from, because it makes it seem like he wasn't credited at all. So of course you go to the back, because
that's what you all said
of Soul of the Dragon.
I'm not a comic book guy.
Again,
I had to take Aaron at his word that Jason wasn't credited,
and there is of course, a credit as a consultant. And, the good thing that Aaron speaks about, hey, like the day before it came out, I got an email and they basically said that they weren't going to credit, Aaron and Jason, and that they were going to give Jason. And this is the email. They only gave Jason, let's say a BS to me, right? A BS credit, because they didn't want to get on Jason's bad side.
Now look, she said they didn't want to get on Jason's bad side, which is why you have this email right here. Which is why you have it right here. Thanks, Jason. Standing by if you have any questions. So yeah, they didn't want to get on his bad side. Go ahead, read the email, Francis.
At the end of the day, if Jason would have been like, hey, I worked on Soul of the Dragon and I didn't get not one credit, people would have probably lost their minds. And let me just go through the email. It says, hi, Aaron. Thanks for checking in. A quick update on the OGN. The book, which has been titled Power Rangers Soul of the Dragon, has significantly changed shape over the last several months and become something wholly unique, a story about Tommy Oliver that explores all of the... Did I skip something? A story about...
That's what the story was all about. They changed it to what our pitch was.
A story about Tommy Oliver that explores all of the different Ranger personas he's assumed over the years. Considering how far this project has evolved and how new and unique it has become, Boom has an obligation to reflect those changes in the crediting of the series. This means that we will be focusing on the primary creative staff only. That said, in all transparency, we'll likely reach out to Jason David Frank to discuss likeness, which could result in some kind of specific credit to be determined. Suffice it to say, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but suffice it to say, I want to thank you for your passion. Please know that the door remains open for future Power Rangers discussions as well as other kinds of creative. To me, this means that you had
Look, man, to me, it means they cut you out. They said we're focused on the primary staff. You know what primary means? The original creators. Hey, we got this idea for this old man Tommy. Hey, well, what if you have Tommy do A, B, and C? That's secondary. That's secondary from Aaron. Now he will argue till he's blue in the face and say, no, that's primary. That's primary. We gave him that idea. They're stealing from us. They're not giving Jason his proper credit. Bro, Jason was on board. Jason was on board. He knew your ass wasn't getting no credit. People already love it. The old man Logan story is I finally get. Aaron's going to be mad. Now, what's going to happen later in this video is Jason going to play the role like, damn, man, they didn't credit us. Oh, man, that fucking sucks.
Obviously, they spoke to you guys, which is, I mean, you and I know, and I know Jason has spoken. There's countless interviews where Jason speaks about, going and giving these ideas and then never getting credit or then never getting anything out of it. So here they're saying they're only giving Jason credit because of his likeness, not because of the input that he put in the Soul of the Dragon.
This would have been great
and
if it was in the interview.
Here's an actual text from Jason that you can see right here if you want to.
He can't, he's going to read it out loud.
A screenshot or whatever, and I'll read it to you.
Let me see if I can zoom in. Hold on.
I'll say, still pissed they took our names off it. It was us who went to Boom to get it started. And Jason replies, they put my name on the front cover like some BS consulting to sell books. He goes, they did the same thing with Amy.
They put my name on the front cover like some BS consulting to sell books. They did that to Amy on the big 25th yearbook. Whatever, tired of all of this free-ish. Oh, really? I don't trust Brian. Still pissed he took our names off the book when his us went to Boom to get it started. Remember, they pitched a Green Ranger series. And the Green Ranger series featured a old man Tommy. But this is the same one right here. Hey, we put the idea in their head to do an older Tommy, to do a Dark Knight story. Like I said, this is lifted from a Kyle Higgins interview, but I'm just not fully prepped to explore that today. But what do you guys think, man? When is Aaron going to learn? When is he going to learn? Like, one, Jason didn't sign Soul of the Dragon books, Bat in the Sun. If he did, I believe it was just their personal one. And these emails that he says are fake. You literally have him showing what he received in the video, which mirrors the same email thread I saw where they talked about Jason removing him from Aaron from credit, and they drafted this. Now, I'm not going to show y'all the whole email thread, but it was 100% actual, factual. I've seen it, and it tracks well considering the original email that they sent Jason was on the 17th, and the email that was sent to Aaron was on the 18th. So 1 day later. But hey, what do you guys think? Did we catch Aaron right here? Did we catch him in another one? And I got more. I got the anonymous person coming forward. Let me know in the comments section. Now, see you in the next video. Peace.